There will be times we will be put under pressure. It's just about absorbing that pressure and keeping it there, and let the pitch do the rest. That was the talk.
India beat Australia by 6 wickets, take a 2-0 lead in the 4-match Border Gavaskar series. And well, the Haryana police used water cannons and tear gas shells to disperse a large group of state government employees holding a demonstration in Panchkula for the restoration of the old pension scheme. Police took action when the demonstrators who had gathered on the Panchkula-Chandigarh border tried to cross over into the Union territory and march towards the Haryana Chief Minister's residence and gherao it to press for their demand. The demonstrators had gathered under the banner of the Old Pension Scheme Restoration Struggle Committee. And for the moment, we cut across to my colleague Amandeep as we stay with these pictures that had come in earlier. Amandeep, well, as we see what is happening on the border, the protesters have slightly settled, but that certainly does not mean that their demands have been met, and they were strongly met with water cannons and tear gas that the police had to use against them to really take the situation under control. But how is the Haryana government reacting, and what is the situation of the protests as we talk?
Well, Swesha, we are just at the border of Panchkula and Chandigarh, and I can show you the visuals and exactly through which I can explain the situation. That protest is still happening, and in fact the large number of employees are still gathered here with the demand to revive the old pension scheme by Haryana government, just because by tomorrow Haryana budget session is going to start, and in fact that is the reason they are just protesting today with their demand. And you can see a large number of protesters have gathered here, and even earlier they tried to cross the barricades to enter into the Chandigarh, but water cannons and tear gas shells and the police force have pushed them back, and now they are sitting here at this site with the demand. And Chief Minister's OSD is all set to meet them to take their demand and in fact to negotiate the talks and to disperse the protest as well. But now the present situation is very much sensitive, and I request my camera person to kindly show you the deployment of the police as well. Large number of police is also deployed here with the water cannons, with the tear gas vehicles here, anti-riot vehicles, and even all kind of emergency services have been deployed here, and barricades has been put in place in the entire Haryana, and Panchkula and Chandigarh border is completely sealed with the heavy deployment of the police on both the sides. And in fact we will try to speak to some of the protesters, Swesha, to know their demands as well, what they are demanding and how the protest will go on. क्या डिमांड है आपकी और कब तक ये प्रोटेस्ट चलेगी?
आज लगभग पूरे हरियाणा के 1.5 लाख कर्मचारी यहाँ पुरानी पेंशन की मांग को लेके आपके सामने आए हैं, और मैं तो मीडिया साथियों से कहूँगा कि इसका पूरा कवरेज दिखाए, क्योंकि यहाँ सीएम साहब के एक आदेश पे हमारे सभी कर्मचारी साथियों पे बलपूर्वक डंडे लगाए गए हैं। महिला साथियों पे बड़ी बर्बरता से उन्होंने डंडे मारे हैं, उनके सूट फट गए हैं, ऐसी जगह पे डंडे मारे कि वो हम दिखा भी नहीं सकते। बड़ी शर्म की बात है। जैसा कि
अभी आप लोग यहाँ गैदर हुए, आपकी डिमांड क्या है कि आज ही रिवाइवल चाहते हैं या फिर चीफ मिनिस्टर को मिलना चाहते हैं? क्या मांग?
हमारी मांग जो है वो पुरानी पेंशन बहाल की जाए, और उसके लिए हम सीएम से एक बैठक चाहते हैं, क्योंकि उससे पहले हम 2-3 बार OSD टू सीएम से बातचीत कर चुके हैं, लेकिन हर बार धोखा किया गया, उसमें कोई आउटपुट नहीं निकला। इसीलिए हम सीधी बात कर रहे हैं कि सीएम साहब हमसे बैठक करें, उसी में हम अपना उनको मत बताएंगे और उनका निर्णय देखेंगे। अगर वो पुरानी पेंशन इसी सत्र में पूरी कर देते हैं, लागू कर देते हैं, हम यहीं पे उनका स्वागत करेंगे, और जो हमारी चोट दर्द है उसको भूल भी जाएंगे। तो अभी हम एक बैठक चाहते हैं, यही हमारा एक निर्णय हुआ है।
अब उतनी देर तक प्रोटेस्ट जारी रहेगा?
सर बिल्कुल जारी रहेगा, और हम हरियाणा सरकार के यहाँ प्रदेश के जो मुखिया ना खट्टर, उसको चेताना चाहते हैं। वो सिर्फ झूठ बोलकर प्रदेश के कर्मचारियों को मूर्ख बना रहा है। उसने पिछले दिनों अभी खट्टर साहब ने एक बयान दिया था कि भी राजस्थान में कोई पेंशन बहाल नहीं हुई पुरानी, जबकि उसी टाइम काउंटर अटैक किया अशोक गहलोत ने, राजस्थान के मुख्यमंत्री ने, और उनको निमंत्रण दिया। खट्टर साहब आके देखो, उधर राजस्थान में पुरानी पेंशन बहाल हो चुकी है, आप भी बहाल करो।
सवाल ये है कि कल बजट सेशन शुरू होगा, तो तब तक आप लोग यहीं पे इसी तरह बैठे रहेंगे?
सर हमारा जब तक
भूख हड़ताल भी रहेगी हमारी, रहेंगे फिर भूख हड़ताल भी रहे। हम क्यों पिटवाए खट्टर साहब ने, 2 मिनट मिल नहीं सके थे। वैसे तो बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ बेटी छतवाओ
को भी मैं यहाँ पे ये कहूंगी, मीडिया दरअसल आंकड़े वो देखता है जो सरकार प्रस्तुत कर रही है कि इससे दिवाला निकल जाएगा। इससे हमारे प्रधानमंत्री, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री संसद से कहते हैं कि राज्य पाप से बचे, राज्य सरकारों को पीएफआरडीए पैसा दे दे, अपना जीएसटी का राजस्व शुल्क दिया जाए, और जो हमारे अनुदान से कटता है 10% मुझसे और 14% सरकार से, 24% वो कटना बंद हो जाए तो अपने आप हमारी पेंशन निकल जाएगी। दरअसल आंकड़े कुछ और हैं, बताए कुछ और जा रहे हैं, तो हम मीडिया से भी अनुरोध करेंगे। दूसरा, जो बर्बरता आज हमारे साथ हुई है, हम शिक्षक जमात के लोग हैं, हमारी बिरादरी, एक तरफ बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ, दूसरी तरफ इतनी बर्बरता, कपड़े फटे हैं, नील डले हैं, खून निकले हैं, लेकिन फिर भी हम क्या चाह रहे हैं? संवाद। हम शब्द चाहते हैं, हम बातचीत चाहते हैं, और वहाँ से कोई भी नुमाइंदा हमसे बातचीत करने के लिए तैयार नहीं है। आखिर क्यों? जब एक संविधान में सरकार कर्मचारी से बातचीत नहीं कर सकती तो आम आदमी का क्या होगा? और एक संविधान जो वेलफेयर स्टेट की अवधारणा के ऊपर खड़ा है, उस संविधान को बिजनेस स्टेट बनाने पर आमादा हो रहे हैं, और आंकड़ों को गलत तरीके से तोड़ मरोड़ कर दिखाया जा रहा है। हम उस सब हर एक चीज के खिलाफ आवाज है, और हम तब तक नहीं उठेंगे जब तक एटलीस्ट हमसे एक सकारात्मक तरीके से बातचीत ना हो।
So here you can see, Swesha, in fact they are very much onto their demands, and in fact they will continue their protest till the time anybody from the Chief Minister's office will not meet them, will not ensure that OPS will be revived. And you can see the large number of protesters have gathered here on the both sides of the road. I request my camera person to kindly pan the camera to show the situation through these visuals, that what exactly the situation is. From afternoon till evening, the protesters are still here with the large gathering and even a heavy deployment of the police as well. The police have sealed the complete border of Panchkula and Chandigarh, and in fact earlier they tried to disperse the protesters with the water cannon and the tear gas shells, but still they are still here, they are staging their protest, and in fact they wanted that old pension scheme should be revived in Haryana, and in fact it should be passed by Haryana Vidhan Sabha Assembly tomorrow itself, when the budget session will start. So this is the situation, Swesha, presently. In fact, you can see through these visuals, we can get the sense that how sensitive situation it is at the border of Chandigarh and Panchkula. Yes.
Right, Amandeep, for the moment, thank you for getting us these details. Clearly, the protesters very insistent and adamant on their position, and we wait and watch how the Haryana government now takes on as far as meeting their demands is concerned. We'll keep coming back to you for further updates. For the moment, thank you for joining us. Shifting our focus to the state of West Bengal now, where the TMC staged day-long sit-in dharna. This was near Nishit Pramanik's residence, claiming that a youth had been shot dead by the BSF. Section 144 that has also been imposed in the area. Remember these protests that were called in by TMC MP Abhishek Banerjee, where they had gherao TMC. I beg your pardon, where they had gherao MOS Pramanik's residence. And Ishan Dev at the moment is joining us live from Republic Bangla to give us a sense of what's happening. Ishan Dev, we'll also try and play out that conversation that Republic had a short while ago with the minister himself, where he put out details of what was happening and why exactly was the TMC making this political when there needs to be a clear investigation into what has happened. But for the moment, I'm also wanting to understand from you the status of the gherao, the protests that the TMC is holding, and how is the police tackling with it?
Well, Swesha, this question is being raised by everyone in West Bengal. Actually, the political opposition of TMC in West Bengal is raising this question again and again, that why should a political party give a call for gherawing a political personality's residence, which is his private residence, not an official residence also. So this is the question being raised from different corners. It was Abhishek Banerjee, who is the All India General Secretary of TMC, who went to Coach Bihar district last week, and there he gave this call of gherawing Nishit Pramanik's residence there in Bhetaguri area of Coach Bihar district. And according to the call given by the All India General Secretary of the party, Udayan Guho, who is the leader of TMC in that district in Coach Bihar, who is also an MLA from Dinhat and who is the North Bengal Development Minister in West Bengal, that person led the gherao program of TMC, and they gherawed the residence of Nishit Pramanik at Bhetaguri area. Though the police deployment was enough there, and the central forces like CISF were also deployed there around Nishit Pramanik's residence, and police and administration also declared Article 1 declared restrictions of law and order around Nishit Pramanik's house there at Bhetaguri. But everyone is asking this question, that why should any political party give a call to gherao the private residence of the opposition political party's leader? Is it a politics which is in vogue in this country? This question is being raised by everyone. But BJP was not sitting still. BJP also challenged TMC in this matter, and BJP said that if TMC is going to gherao the residence of Nishit Pramanik, then they are also going to hit the streets in Coach Bihar. And according to that, senior leaders of BJP and MLAs like Mihir Goswami, like Maloti Rabha Roy, like Nikhil Ranjan De, who all are MLAs from that Coach Bihar districts, they assembled at Coach Bihar district headquarters of BJP, and they hit the streets in Coach Bihar. And due to this situation, due to this tremendous battle of nerves between the two biggest political forces in West Bengal in Coach Bihar district, the whole district came to a standstill this day. And at one side there was TMC's gherao around Nishit Pramanik's residence in Bhetaguri. At the other side, in the district headquarters of Coach Bihar district, there BJP was hitting the streets. They were holding rallies and processions and all that. And at the end of the day, BJP gave a blow to Udayan Guho's family. Udayan Guho, I was telling about him, he is the North Bengal Development Minister. And his family members joined BJP today, this afternoon, in the BJP district headquarters in Coach Bihar. Suesha.
So a lot of details coming in on that, and we wait and watch how this develops. But for the moment, like I mentioned, Ishandev, that Republic had spoken to Nishit Pramanik a short while ago to hear what is happening at his end. Let's put that out for our viewers.
नमस्कार। पहले तो मैं ये बताना चाहूंगा कि आज जो है सीप चतुर्दशी के दिन है, और इस ऐसा जो है पावन समय पर, ऐसा जो है पवित्र तिथि पर, मुझे लगता है कि सिर्फ पूरा देश ही नहीं, उसके साथ साथ बंगाल में भी बड़ी पवित्रता के साथ इस त्योहार को मनाए जाते हैं। और हम जहाँ से हैं, राजवंशी समुदाय का लोग कुछ बिहार जिले में सबसे ज्यादा है, और हमारे आराध्य देवता शिव जी ही है। तो इस ऐसी पावन समय पर अगर कोई ऐसा राजनीतिक कार्यक्रम लेता है तो उसका पीछे क्या उद्देश्य है, ये हम लोगों को समझ में आता है। और सबसे बड़ा चीज ये है कि कोई भी पॉलिटिकल कार्यक्रम नहीं रहने के कारण से ही एक जो है टीएमसी ने इस टाइप का कार्यक्रम लिया। और मुझे लगता है कि बंगाल में जिस तरह से हम लोगों ने पोस्ट पोल वायलेंस देखा, लोगों को हत्या की गई।
And moving on, cash-strapped Pakistan's defense minister has declared that the country has defaulted and is bankrupt. The statement by Khwaja Asif, the defense minister of Pakistan, has embarrassed the Pakistan government, which is seeking a bailout from the IMF to avoid default amid unprecedented crisis in the country. For the moment, I'm cutting across to Kaswar, who is joining us from Islamabad, to give us a sense of what the situation on the ground is, because Kaswar, it is a crisis like never seen, and so unfortunate when the top leadership gives up on its people. Where do they go? And they're clearly left for themselves to fend for. Tell us more about how the people on the ground are tackling with it, because those in power are only looking after themselves, and the situation is getting from bad to worse with every passing day. The inflation rates are off the roof. Like on the ground, these pictures do a tell-all story, and let's understand that the inflation rates have risen up further, absolutely unprecedented to where it stands, and possibly no option for the people when the top leadership itself has given up. The defense minister saying that there is no hope and we are bankrupt.
Well, Pakistan is in a mess. There is no denying that, and that you have rightly pointed out. Pakistan Defense Minister has rightly pointed out. Pakistan has already defaulted. You know, even in most of the Pakistanis who are the taxpayers, most of the middle class and lower middle class, they are actually taxing the rich people. And let me tell you the scenario from the ground, ground zero in Islamabad. People of Pakistan, most of the people of Pakistan, they don't have buying power now. Petrol has, the price of petrol has reached to the climax, and vegetable and daily use items, they actually have gone out of the reach of more than 60 to 70% people. And
all right, so that is what it is on the ground, and we keep a close watch on what's happening. For the moment, we have to slip into a very short commercial break. We'll be back on the other side to get you more international news. Also, the exclusive voice from Tel Aviv on Israel's attack on Syria. That's coming up next. Do stay with us.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates: IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
कितने गाजी आए, कितने गाजी गए। अब ये तो सोशल मीडिया में ये जो लफ्ज हैं, ये जो सेंटेंसेस हैं, ये गर्दिश कर रहे हैं। आप बताइए, आपके हिसाब से सबसे बेहतरीन चीज कौन सी थी व्हेन यू वर GOC 15 कोर? हुआ क्या था सर?
जो आपने बात की कितने गाजी आए, कितने गाजी गए, और कश्मीर की स्टोरी और कश्मीर की कहानी, ऐसी वो लम्हा था 5 अगस्त 2019 जब आर्टिकल 370 को एब्रोगेट किया गया हिंदुस्तान की सरकार को। उस समय मैं कोर कमांडर था, और उस आर्टिकल 370 के एब्रोगेशन के बाद में जो बिल्कुल कश्मीर में शांति रही, एक भी कश्मीरी की जान नहीं गई। लोग कहते थे खून की नदियां बह जाएंगी, लाशें बिछ जाएंगी, ये कुछ भी नहीं होने दिया। एवरी स्क्वायर इंच ऑफ इंडियन टेरिटरी हिंदुस्तान का तिरंगा लहराएगा, हिंदुस्तान की गवर्नमेंट की रिट चलेगी।
एक तो 370-35 से हटा, हमें तो पता ही नहीं लगा। उसके पहले का बताइए सर, आपको क्या पता था और क्या हुआ?
370 हटने वाला है, ये कश्मीर में सिर्फ 2.5 लोगों को मालूम था, 2.5 people, एंड आई वाज कंप्लीट वन ऑफ देम।
अच्छा सर,
जो भी इवेंचुअलिटीज हो सकती थी वो तमाम कॉन्टीजेंसीज को केटर किया गया था, उनके बारे में प्लानिंग की गई थी, तैयारी की गई थी। आपको नहीं मालूम था, पाकिस्तान को नहीं मालूम था, किसी को नहीं मालूम था क्या होने वाला है। सीक्रेसी को मेंटेन रखते हुए कैसे इस पूरे चीज की तैयारी की गई, और किसी को पता भी नहीं चला कि ये कदम गवर्नमेंट उठाने वाली है।
कितने गाजी आए कितने गाजी गए। अब ये तो सोशल मीडिया में ये जो लफ्ज हैं, ये जो सेंटेंसेस हैं, ये गर्दिश कर रहे हैं। आप बताइए आपके हिसाब से सबसे बेहतरीन चीज कौन सी थी व्हेन यू वर जीओसी 15 कोर? हुआ क्या था सर?
जो आपने बात की कितने गाजी आए कितने गाजी गए और कश्मीर की स्टोरी और कश्मीर की कहानी, ऐसी वो लम्हा था 5 अगस्त 2019 जब आर्टिकल 370 को एब्रोगेट किया गया हिंदुस्तान की सरकार के। उस समय मैं कोर कमांडर था और उस आर्टिकल 370 के एब्रोगेशन के बाद
Thank you for staying with Republican. Well, Syria has alleged that Israel carried out airstrikes targeting several areas in the capital Damascus shortly after midnight, causing 5 deaths and several others were severely injured. We now get you an exclusive conversation with Israeli influencer Haryana Naftali, who puts up to what's happening.
Viewers, getting some global breaking news coming in. At least 5 people have been killed, while 15 others have been injured in the Syrian capital of Damascus this morning. This after Israeli airstrikes targeted a residential neighborhood in Damascus early on Sunday. Loud explosions were heard over a central area of the capital. A Syrian state media agency reported that 5 people had been killed, among them a soldier, and 15 civilians wounded, along with the destruction of a number of residential buildings. I'm being joined right now by Haryana Naftali, Israeli author and activist, who's joining us live on the broadcast. Thank you for joining us. The big question right now, of course, is that we see this escalation not stop. Israel has been carrying out air attacks against what they are calling suspected Iranian-sponsored weapon transfers and personal deployments in Syria. So what is the first reaction coming in?
Well, I have to say that for the sake of the audience as well, you know what's more dangerous than the Israeli Air Force? It is, in fact, the anti-aircraft missiles in the hands of Syrian army, because that's exactly what we've seen. They tried to shoot down alleged Israeli fighter jets and ended up shooting down a residential building, causing Syrian civilians to be injured. But I think that the question that we should all ask ourselves is, why is the Israeli army striking Syria anyways? And the answer to all of that is Iran, because we've just seen this massive, horrific earthquake hitting Turkey and Syria with over 20,000 people dead. And the Islamic regime in Iran, they're using this disaster as a disguise to ship weapons into Syria. And because you have to understand that Iran does not share a border with Israel, but Syria does. And therefore, the Islamic regime in Iran, they are using Syria as a military base to base themselves there militarily in order to attack Israel from Syria. So what we've seen, what happened tonight, according to foreign reports, is that the Israeli Air Force, they struck this shipment of arms and Iranian targets, because we will not sit down quiet while our enemies are basing themselves in order to attack us.
Right. So these raids have been happening for a while right now, Haryana. And in the recent months, we are seeing that Syrian airports are targeted, air bases are targeted. So this is a low-intensity conflict. So as somebody who stays in Israel, you live in Israel, how do you think a common citizen of Israel is reacting to these kind of airstrikes? Because people are also losing their life. 5 people have been killed in this one and 15 injured in Syrian capital Damascus after these Israeli airstrikes.
Very true. The situation in the Middle East is very changing and fragile. And it breaks my heart as an Israeli to hear about Syrian civilians who die. In fact, let me remind the audience as well that in 2011, during the Syrian civil war, Israel opened a field hospital and treated Syrian civilians there. But the fact that Iran is using Syria, the regime, they don't care about Syrian lives. And my heart breaks for the Iranian people, because Iran does not belong in Syria, Lebanon, Gaza, Iraq, or Yemen. They belong in Iran. And I wish that the Iranian people would have a leadership that would care for them instead of investing in terrorism. But for me, as an Israeli civilian, and for the Israeli people in general, our heart breaks for the Syrian people, for the Turkish people, for the Iranian people. We are coming in peace. And just like we would like to have peace with the Palestinian people, we are already making peace in the Middle East. As Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu managed to forge peace agreements with 4 Arab countries. So this is truly historic and shows the true colors of Israel, that we come in peace, not in war.
Right. Hananya, but there's a war of words being playing out right now between Iran and Israel, because Iran has been blaming Israel for, like you are saying, of course, you think that peace is a solution and peace should be the solution, but Iran is blaming Israel and saying that Israel is the pain which is being caused by Israel is quite intense, and the Syrian nation is suffering. That's what Iran is saying. So when it comes to the war of words between the two countries, what do you really make of it when it comes to international diplomacy, when it comes to ending this kind of conflict?
Well, in order to solve this conflict, we have to look a tiny bit into the past. And Israel and Iran used to have relations prior to the Islamic Revolution in '79. And even after the Islamic Revolution, when earthquakes occurred in Iran, for example, the earthquake in 2003, the recent earthquake in Khoi, an Iranian city that took place right when the earthquake in Turkey happened, Israel did offer help in several occasions to Iran, humanitarian assistance, to which the answer was a loud no. And when you hear the leaders, the dictators, the ayatollahs in Iran, that they chant death to Israel and death to America, and they encourage and incite, there is a clock tower in Tehran that shows when will Israel be destroyed. And we just recently heard that one of the Iranian ayatollahs, if I'm not wrong, the Iranian president, he said that Israel will not live more than 80 years. So you do hear that, and you understand that they don't want peace with Israel. They want to destroy Israel. And all they are interested in is more power. They want to expand this evil empire. And the greatest proof of that is to see that Arab nations that used to be enemies of Israel are now coming together with Israel in order to counter this Iranian Islamic threat. And so I will conclude and say that when you see Israelis, Arabs, and Iranian people all united together, you do know that they are right in their quest for peace and to put an end to radicalism.
Right. But Hananya, also, we are seeing that the Syrian president has never publicly acknowledged that Iranian forces are operating on his behalf in Syria's civil war. So, because a lot of suspicions being raised, Israel is raising suspicions about Syria and Iran, like you were just saying. But Syrian president has never publicly acknowledged that these Iranian forces are operating on his behalf in Syria. And he has been saying that Tehran has only military advisors on the ground. Well, that's what Syrian president is saying. So these are the comments coming in from Syria. Hananya.
Well, I will say that, when a mass murderer is saying something, you don't always need to believe this. And the Israeli intelligence is actually one of the best around the world. And I would say that most of the Western countries do use the help of the Israeli intelligence. So I'm sure that when Israel says that there is a shipment of arms into Syria, it is true. And as the president of Syria, Bashar al-Assad, he would probably not like to acknowledge the fact that Israelis treated Syrian people. I was a combat medic in the Israeli army, and during my
कितने गाजी आए कितने गाजी गए। अब ये तो सोशल मीडिया में ये जो लफ्ज हैं, ये जो सेंटेंसेस हैं, ये गर्दिश कर रहे हैं। आप बताइए आपके हिसाब से सबसे बेहतरीन चीज कौन सी थी व्हेन यू वर जीओसी 15 कोर? हुआ क्या था सर?
जो आपने बात की कितने गाजी आए कितने गाजी गए और कश्मीर की स्टोरी और कश्मीर की कहानी, ऐसे वो लम्हा था 5 अगस्त 2019 जब आर्टिकल 370 को एब्रोगेट किया गया हिंदुस्तान की सरकार के। उस समय मैं कोर कमांडर था और उस आर्टिकल 370 के एब्रोगेशन के बाद में जो बिल्कुल कश्मीर में शांति रही, एक भी कश्मीरी की जान नहीं गई। लोग कहते थे खून की नदियां बह जाएंगी, लाशें बह जाएंगी, ये कुछ भी नहीं होने दिया। एवरी स्क्वायर इंच ऑफ इंडियन टेरिटरी हिंदुस्तान का तिरंगा लहराएगा, हिंदुस्तान की गवर्नमेंट की रिट चलेगी।
एक तो 370-35 से हटा, हमें तो पता ही नहीं लगा। उसके पहले का बताइए सर, आपको क्या पता था और क्या हुआ?
370 हटने वाला है। ये कश्मीर में सिर्फ 2.5 लोगों को मालूम था, 2.5 पीपल, एंड आई वाज कंप्लीट वन ऑफ देम।
अच्छा सर,
जो भी इवेंचुअलिटीज हो सकती थी वो तमाम कॉन्टीजेंसीज को कैटर किया गया।
सबसे लास्ट में आया भाई जो अभी डेथ हुआ था, सबसे लास्ट में वो दौड़ के आया था। वो इधर ही पीछे यहाँ पे लोहे के राड से मारा उसको, लोहे राड से मारते वो इधर ही गिर गया। मारने के बाद भी, गिरने के बाद भी चाकू से मारा यहाँ पे उसको भी।
They earn their living through, horoscope, telling horoscope to the various public. He has earned a small living out of that. He has sent both his sons. He has got 2 daughters and 2 sons. He has sent both his sons. So we should really, hats off to Mr. Madhayan for sending both his sons to the army.
On the 8th of Feb, there was a brutal attack on Lance Nayak Prabhu and his family members, which also included his elder brother and his father as well, right at this very house where we are standing at, which is the residence, over a very trivial issue. He was dragged out of the house, beaten up brutally with iron rods, wooden clubs, sickles and knives. The father was stabbed on his face as well. And moving on and looking at the entire scene of crime, this is the water tank which was the reason for this petty dispute, where the sister-in-law Priya of Lance Nayak Prabhu was washing the clothes, and Chinnaswamy, the accused, objected to it, and after which they had a verbal altercation. Chinnaswamy stated that they will go on and show Prabhu's worth, and later came in the evening around 4:30 to 5 p.m. and then it was a full-fledged brutal assault on the family members of Prabhu. And when he, along with his brother Prabhakar, tried to defend the family members, they were beaten up mercilessly. And despite begging for mercy, the DMK councillor Chinnaswamy went on to show his slipper, stated that he was from the DMK and he will show his might to the army by brandishing his slipper, which shows the atrocity of this entire incident that happened in Krishnagiri, which went on to rock the entire country. has been 10 days since Lance Nayak Prabhu's incident has happened, which has rocked the entire state of Tamil Nadu and the nation as well. I am here at his residence where his mother has been crying inconsolably. The members of the family are, they are inconsolable at this point of time. The women in the house are continuously crying, demanding justice, and the family members have all withdrawn into a shell, and it is quite palpable. We're also looking at the child of Lance Nayak Prabhu, who is just around 6 months old, apart from which all of them have come in to pay their respects. The family members are distraught, they are devastated. They continue to demand justice for Prabhu, but so far nothing has been done by the DMK government, apart from the fact that there has been several visits from ex-servicemen. The family still hinges on to the hope that there will be some sort of justice which will be given to them, and there will be justice meted out to Lance Nayak Prabhu.
जब हमने ये सवाल, रिपब्लिक टीवी ने जब ये सवाल पुलिस से की कि जिस तरह से सुपरिटेंडेंट ऑफ पुलिस ये कहते हैं कि इसके पीछे कोई राजनीतिक लिंक नहीं है, कोई पॉलिटिकल लिंक नहीं है, और वो कहते हैं कि ये मुद्दा कहीं ना कहीं पर्सनल मुद्दा है, ये कहना है पुलिस का।
इस पे वो सीधा मेरे को ये बोल के मारा था, मैं डीएमके का हूँ, काउंसलर हूँ, तो कुछ नहीं कर पाएगा मेरे को। ये प्लान करके मारे थे, मुझे प्लान करके मारा था, प्लान करके मारा थे। ये हम दोनों फौज में तुम कैसे चला जाओगे, मैं देखता हूँ तुम्हारा को करके प्लान करके, ये छोटी सी बात पे प्लान करके 6 परिवार मिलके मेरा भाई को मारे थे, प्लान करके मारे थे। इस पे ये पॉलिटिकल नहीं है, इस पे पॉलिटिकल नहीं है, ये प्लान करके मर्डर किए।
प्रभाकर जी, जब आप कहते हैं कि ये उन्होंने प्लान किया, ये प्लान करने के बाद ये मर्डर किया, इसके पीछे आप क्या कह सकते हैं, क्या सबूत है? क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं सवाल ये उठाया जा रहा है कि इससे पहले भी उन्होंने क्या आपको कभी धमकी दी थी, ऐसा कुछ हुआ था?
हम इनका बातों पे नहीं आते थे, पहले बात हम इनका दबाव में नहीं आए, अभी तक नहीं आए। ये गांव में हम ठीक ठाक रहते हैं, इसी वजह से हमारे ऊपर ये दोनों फौज में है, ये बोल के हमारे को अभी नहीं है, पहले शुरू से ये हमारे को ऐसे तंग करते आ रहे थे, आज ऐसे कांड कर दिया उन्होंने।
அவ்வளோதான் எனக்கு தெரியும் சார், நான் மைக்கு விழுந்து கீழே விழுந்துட்டேன், அந்த பசங்க உள்ளே இருக்கிறவங்க நான் அப்பன் அடிச்ச கவனிப்பாங்களா, அவன் வந்து விளக்கண உடனே எடுத்து வந்து
what has happened is, it is a very small petty issue. They were washing their bed sheets in one of the common water tanks, which is common to the entire this Vallur family colony, which his elder sister was washing the bed sheet there, and that councillor's daughter or someone was also washing there. They had a duel, they had a verbal fight, and because of that, that family, that Chinnasamy family has got angry. They started creating an enmity with him. He tried to beat up the 2 service people, but then to protect them, the father, Mr. Madhayan, made sure that the 2 service people were in the house, and he was engaging the angry councillor, DMK councillor.
On the 8th of February, from the Nagaram Sampatti police station, which we are showing you, this was the very place from where the cops went to the house of the deceased soldier, Lance Nayak Prabhu here. And the team of cops were deployed immediately, and they reached after over an hour from when this particular incident took place to go on and nab the accused. But the accused were only nabbed on the 9th of Feb because from according to sources we get to understand that a few of them had also gone on to inflict injuries on themselves, and they admitted themselves into the hospital and underwent treatment, and therefore they were arrested on the 9th of Feb is what the police sources are claiming. Apart from which the sections under which the accused were booked under was also pointed out and questioned too, but finally section 302, which was the murder charge, was added after the nabbing of the accused number 1 Chinnaswamy Chinnaswamy on the 15th of Feb, which is 7 days after the incident, exactly a week after the incident.
The victims and accused of this case are close blood relatives. It had absolutely no political angle. No political members are involved in this case.
On the 9th of Feb, 6 accused were arrested by the cops from Nagara Sampatti police station, and the 3 were absconding in this particular case on the 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. Chinnaswamy and the 2 other accused had absconded to Kolar, from where the CID in Karnataka were informed by the Tamil Nadu sleuths. The CID nabbed him from Kolar in Karnataka and handed him over to the Tamil Nadu cops on the 12th of Feb in the night. On the 12th of Feb, Chinnaswamy was taken to the hospital with the other 2 accused. And on Feb 13th and 14th, Chinnaswamy continued to stay in the hospital along with 2 other accused in this particular case, who have now been arrested for beating up Lance Nayak Prabhu and killing him. On the 14th of Feb, Lance Nayak Prabhu dies in the hospital in Hosur, and on the 15th of Feb, the police make a formal arrest of Chinnaswamy. This goes on and raises many questions as to why did the cops go on to take time here, and also what was he doing for all those days, and why was Chinnaswamy led to abscond from the region. Now the people are questioning the police's incapabilities out here in Tamil Nadu, and they're also stating that their hands have been tied up by the DMK government. Now we are also having ex-army veterans right now marching towards the house of Lance Nayak Prabhu, the deceased soldier who was murdered by the DMK now. So you can see that army members, the former veterans of the Indian Army have gathered out in large numbers demanding justice for Lance Nayak Prabhu. So this shows that the army is in solidarity with the family members of Lance Nayak Prabhu. They're demanding justice for the slain soldier as well. Let's go across, speak to them, get in a reaction from them as well. No, sir, you are all army veterans. You have come out to support Lance Nayak Prabhu, his family members as well. But there has been no sort of action apart from the fact that 9 accused.
We want security. When we come out from the army, people are just like that, they're gathering, because no one is respecting us. We people are in rain, cold, everywhere we have worked, served for the 25 years, 26 years, whatever the time. So here we come, but we are not respecting the people. Even the police people also never, they are not listening our problems. So we are discarded. In all the respect, we are not involved, discarded from the public. So please, government should take care, take security for the people who live in this.
Okay, also now, the accused number 2 is a serving police constable in the Tamil Nadu police. He's working in Chennai city. The son of Chinnaswamy is a police constable now. That is even more shocking, that he is in service and now he's also gone on to assault and hit Lance Nayak Prabhu with iron rods. He was hit with iron rods and on the head too. So is there any sort of decision that is being taken by this government to shield the accused?
That he has to be accused, should be punished severely, because we want the people, the ex-serviceman being our ex-serviceman, one of our brother who is working, service person. So he should be, the victim should be punished badly. Okay. So.
So it shows how the DMK government, they are hiding the facts. Not a single Tamil television channel has come to this village. It is only the national channel which are coming to this village. That speaks volume as to how they got control of the media, how they have got control of the writing media, how they have got control of the print media and the newspapers. None of them have reported. It is after 8 long days they have made an arrest of this DMK councillor, Mr. Chinnarasu. So this Stalin keeps on telling it is Dravida model. So Dravida model is killing service people who are working in the forward area.